My village has a rule. On a baby's full moon celebration, white lanterns must be hung outside the door to trick evil spirits, protecting the child's health. Loving my son, I secretly replaced the ominous white lanterns with joyful red ones. Little did I know, my son's behavior became eerily strange, almost like an adult man. During my passionate romance with Ethan, I became pregnant, unexpectedly. So, we had a shotgun wedding. With no parents, I didn't require any bridal gifts. My only condition was that after marriage, we'd live in the city, in our own space. Ethan agreed to everything, with just one exception. After our child was born, we had to return to his village for the full moon celebration. He said it was a village rule. I knew it was his mother's idea. She had lived a simple life for many years, unwilling to move to the city, yet uneasy about Ethan being so far from home. His mother likely wanted to host the full moon party as an excuse to keep the baby and perhaps even tie Ethan down. I didn't want to escalate our mother-in-law or daughter-in-law tensions, so I agreed to Ethan's proposal. As for whether or not to leave the child, I decided I'd play it by ear. On the morning of Leo's full moon, Ethan picked me up from the postpartum care center and drove straight back to the village. We finally arrived just after noon. On the way, his mother had called, saying the party preparations were complete. The moment we stepped out of the car, his mother joyfully took the baby, hugging him close, her eyes sparkling with delight. Ethan helped me into the courtyard. A buffet-style party was underway, with dozens of people eating, and a few aunties helping with the cooking. Everyone enthusiastically crowded around the baby, some remarking that he resembled me, others saying he looked like Ethan, all showering us with endless good wishes. Pushing through the bustling crowd, my eyes landed on 2 white lanterns hanging on either side of the gate, and a sudden blaze of anger ignited within me. Ethan, it's Leo's full moon today. Why are there white lanterns? I whispered, challenging him. Ethan, too, noticed the anomaly. He signaled for me to go inside first, assuring me he'd handle it. Through the window, I watched Ethan pull his mother aside, speaking in hushed tones. His mother glanced at me through the window, responding in an equally low voice. Then, they began to argue, Ethan's face alternating between red and white, even raising his fist in frustration. He was furious, completely unlike his usual gentle and refined self, as if he had transformed into a different person. A moment later, Ethan came inside and patiently explained to me, Naya, there's an old rule in the village that for a baby's full moon, white lanterns must be hung. It's for Leo's good. Our ancestors all did it this way. Just bear with it. My mother is old and not well. Let's humor her this one time. After the hour of Mao, 5-7 a.m., she'll take the lanterns down. Not a second later. I was trembling with anger. Filial piety doesn't mean endless indulgence. White lanterns are for funerals. How can they be used for my son's full moon celebration? Ethan pouted. All right, don't get angry. I'll go talk to Mom again. They'll be taken down after the party ends. Okay? Only if that's the case. I nodded in agreement, but drew a clear line. If they're not taken down, I'll take Leo back to the city tonight. After Ethan left, I dozed off while breastfeeding Leo, eventually falling into a deep sleep. When I awoke, the sun had set. Darkness was gathering, the party was over, and the courtyard was silent. I got dressed and the first thing I did was look up. To my fury, The two white lanterns were still there. In the bright daylight, and because I had only been in the courtyard for a short time, I hadn't examined them closely. Now, under the flickering candlelight, the white lanterns stood out even more, and on their paper, a large black character due, mourning, condolence, was emblazoned. In that instant, a fire reached from my chest to the top of my head. What kind of monstrous village rule was this? This was clearly bullying my son and me. My son, Leo, was developing normally, eating well, laughing brightly, a million miles away from anything related to mourning. Today's full moon party wasn't a blessing at all. It was a blatant curse. I couldn't bear it any longer. If his fire didn't burst out, it would consume me. The car was still outside, meaning Ethan hadn't gone far. "Ethan, where are you?" The moment the call connected, I screamed into the phone. "What's wrong now?" Ethan rushed out of his mother's room, his mother close behind. I pointed at the glaring white lanterns, seething. "These white lanterns, meant to guide the dead, are hanging here. Don't you see them? What are you talking about? You just finished your confinement. Don't overexert yourself. Go inside first." Tony. His dismissive attitude was like adding fuel to the fire. Ethan used to always listen to me. He would have certainly agreed with me about these lanterns. But I never expected him to change so completely once we were back in the village. I was utterly furious. "I told you before, the lanterns come down when the party ends, and you didn't keep your word. I'm leaving for the city right now." Ethan forced a few awkward laughs. "It's late. Driving isn't safe. Give me the keys. You drive yourself." Ethan's expression shifted slightly. He clenched his fists, didn't argue with me, but stood rooted to the spot. "Nyaya!" Ethan's mother blocked his path. "You are an educated woman. Now that you've married into our village, you mustn't break our rules. Hanging white lanterns is for Leo's good. Even Ethan had them for his full moon." "Mother," I retorted, "Ethan is your son. You can do what you want with him. I can't control it. But Leo is my son, and I will not allow him to be exposed to these feudal superstitions. Either these white lanterns come down right now, or I'm taking Leo and leaving immediately." Seeing my determination, his mother's smiling face vanished. "I still run this house. If anyone dares to take down those lanterns before dawn, I'll bash my head in and die right here. Leo is a Chin family bloodline. He must stay. If you want to leave, go by yourself." Words had reached this point, meaning my mother-in-law and I had completely fallen out. We both turned to Ethan. His stance would decide everything. Would the lanterns come down? Would I stay or leave? Would our son remain or not? Ethan looked at his mother, then at me, frustrated. All right. Why are you pressuring me? Can't I just leave?" With that, he opened the door and walked out. By the time I reacted to grab the car keys, Ethan was gone. I called and messaged him repeatedly. He neither answered nor replied. Without the car, I couldn't leave, but I couldn't stay either. His mother noticed my predicament, understood that Ethan was siding with her, and returned to her room, smug. I felt like a bride who had been tricked into a remote village. Alone and helpless, standing in the wind, I almost wanted to cry. Since Ethan returned to the village, his personality had completely changed. From a responsible husband, he had become a man blindly obedient to his mother, prone to anger. It turned out that love, when it curdled, could be so painful. I was also utterly disappointed with his mother. I had once thought that if she were kind and gentle, I might let Leo live with her for a while after weaning. At this moment, I completely abandoned that idea. His mother was ignorant and superstitious, unreasonable and perverse. If Leo stayed with her, he would surely be affected. After much thought, I decided to leave this place immediately. I stuffed diapers, tissues, a thermos, a baby bottle, and other essentials into my backpack, changed Leo's diaper, and walked out into the night, cradling my son. Earlier that afternoon, as we entered the village, I had seen a taxi parked at the entrance to one of the courtyards. I had planned to offer a high price to have them drive me back to the city. Unfortunately, that taxi had already left. I didn't give up, knocking on every door, searching for Ethan. If only I could get the car keys, I could drive back to the city. But from one end of the village to the other, Ethan was nowhere to be found. This time, I was completely at my wit's end. Just as I hugged my child and wiped away my tears, a familiar face appeared before me. Oh, isn't this Auntie Chin's new daughter-in-law? Celebrating your son's full moon, and now you're crying like this? This was Auntie May, who had helped his mother with the banquet. We had met in the courtyard. I didn't mention the troubles within the house, only saying I was looking for Ethan for an urgent matter, but couldn't reach him. Auntie May spoke plainly. Ethan and old man Jenkins' son drove to the county to drink. Ethan had abandoned my son and me to go drinking with others. This was utterly unbelievable. Without the car keys, I had no choice but to stay in the village tonight. With those two dreadful white lanterns hanging in the house, I didn't want to go back. So I politely suggested staying at Auntie May's house to wait for Ethan, promising not to disturb her family's rest. Auntie May looked at the baby in my arms and insinuated, "Didn't your mother-in-law tell you the village rules? My house doesn't prepare white lanterns. You should still take your child back to your own home." The mention of white lanterns only irritated me further. Everyone seemed to want my precious son to have those white lanterns hung for him. I absolutely refused. I decided to make my way through the mountains in the dark, hoping to reach the county road and catch a ride back to the city. As I decided, I left. Using my phone for navigation, I headed into the mountains. In a desolate area, I stumbled upon a hidden Taoist temple. The scent of incense wafting from the temple brought a sudden sense of calm to my heart. I knelt on a prayer mat, thinking about the recent events, weeping silently. A benevolent Taoist master with white hair and beard approached. After listening to my terrifying experience in the village, he declared it perilous. The master told me that many years ago, the villagers used white lanterns to guide evil spirits, sacrificing infant bodies. He had repeatedly tried to dissuade them, but some were still enchanted. His words made my eyes light up, like a drowning person grasping at a straw. I pleaded with the master to help me. He said I had karmic connection with him and gave me a packet of cinnabar, instructing me to add it to the lamp oil. The white lanterns would turn red, and ill fortune would automatically transform into good. He specifically warned me that it must be done before the hour of Mao, 5:07 a.m. Any delay could be detrimental to my son. With a solution in hand, I rushed home. On the way, Leo cried incessantly. To comfort him, I had to stop and breastfeed him several times. These delays caused me to lose time. By the time I reached home, the hour of Mao was almost over. Without hesitation, I followed the master's instructions, adding cinnabar to the lamp oil. Very quickly, the white lanterns transformed into joyful red ones. Once it was done, I held Leo and fell into a deep, peaceful sleep. Early the next morning, I was jolted awake by my mother-in-law's piercing scream. Discovering that I had changed the white lanterns to red the previous night, she fainted on the spot. Now, at the same time, Ethan returned. "Mother, what's wrong with you?" Ethan rushed to her side in a panic. I was also quite startled. I hadn't expected the lanterns changing color to trigger such a severe reaction from his mother. "First, take her to the hospital." As I spoke, Ethan turned, glaring at me. "Nia, I was only gone for one night. What did you do to my mother?" He blamed me without even asking for the full story. Concerned for his mother's health, I didn't argue with him. I spoke frankly. "You all wouldn't take down the white lanterns, so I just changed their color." Mother fainted just from seeing red lanterns. "Teach! What a fuss," Ethan said irritably. "You dislike white lanterns, right? Or is it my mother and this whole house you dislike?" I was speechless. I hadn't been in the village for even 24 hours, yet I had endured so much indignation. Ethan didn't help me. Instead, he threw his hands up and walked away, dumping all the problems on me. His mother had fainted, and he still expected me to shoulder all the responsibility. He glared at me, full of resentment. In that moment, I was utterly disappointed in him and our marriage. "Keep the house in order, look after our son, and don't cause any more trouble." With those words, Ethan drove his mother to the county hospital. I don't know how long I stood in the courtyard. Leo's cries pulled me back to reality. I quickly went inside to breastfeed him. Today, Leo nursed with unusual vigor, his strength immense, sucking both my nipples until they were bright red. He must have been hungry after running around with me all night. After feeding him, I smelled a foul odor. Knowing he had soiled himself, I quickly poured warm water to clean his bottom. Inadvertently, I noticed his private seemed larger than usual. My baby is only a month old. How could he grow so fast? I must be too tired and seeing things. In the afternoon, Ethan called. His mother's mental state was unstable. She needed to stay in the hospital for a few days of observation. He would remain at the hospital to care for her, and told me to look after our son. With nothing to eat in the kitchen, and seeing the nice weather, I carried Leo to the village's general store to buy some groceries. On the way, I met Auntie May, returning from picking vegetables. Seeing Leo awake, she chatted and playfully teased him. Suddenly, she froze, her face turning pale, following Auntie May's gaze. I realized she was staring intently at Leo. "Auntie, do you think my Leo looks more like Ethan or me?" I asked, breaking the awkward silence. She mumbled, "How can his appearance change so much overnight?" "He looks like your neighbor, Old Man Jenkins." I didn't know any Old Man Jenkins, but comparing my son to a neighbor sounded insulting and demeaning. "You must be confusing your nearsightedness with your farsightedness, Auntie," I retorted, annoyed, realizing her slip of the tongue. Auntie May quickly apologized, handing me the bundle of freshly picked vegetables. As I bent down to take them, I heard Auntie May gasp in horror. "Oh my God! The baby!" The baby kissed me. Auntie May pointed at Leo in my arms, her face ashen. "Auntie May, with all due respect, he's only a month old," I reminded her. "Oh dear, it's a ghost. My husband's been gone for so many years, and now this happens." "Ugh, bad luck," she called. "May bad luck." Before I could finish scolding her, Auntie May dropped her vegetable basket and ran off on all fours. What was going on? I stomped my foot in frustration. After dinner, I put Leo to bed early. Tonight, Leo ate more vigorously than usual. I felt my milk wasn't enough, and there was no formula stocked in the house. I called Ethan, telling him to buy some formula from the county and bring it back. Oh, Ethan told me to try a little harder, that he would bring his mother home from the hospital tomorrow. Try a little harder? How could I try harder when there was no milk? I wasn't the one who was hungry. That night, Leo cried all night, making me incredibly anxious. But Leo ate so much. My milk supply was all he had. In the early morning hours, Leo cried himself to sleep. I, too, drifted off into a hazy sleep. In my drowsiness, I felt 2 hands touching me all over and someone licking me. Could Ethan be back? I could ask him for the car keys. I opened my eyes and sat up. Besides Leo, there was no one else next to me. I turned on the light to find Leo's large, dark eyes staring intently at my chest, his hands placed right on my breasts. I was torn between laughter and tears. Leo must be so hungry that he knows how to use his hands to find milk. I picked him up to feed him, but then something happened that made my hair stand on end. Leo wasn't nursing. Instead, he was licking and sucking my nipples with his tongue, his hands consciously exploring everywhere, his legs restlessly rubbing against me. That rhythm, that strength, was absolutely not something a newborn baby could possibly do. Terrified, I quickly pulled away from Leo, standing a distance from him, looking directly into his eyes. I was certain of one thing. A cunning expression gleamed in Leo's eyes. He wasn't Leo. This discovery sent shivers down my spine. How could my 1-month-old son have turned into someone else, an adult, no less? But this was what I saw with my own eyes. I had a premonition that Leo's unusual change was connected to the lanterns. Was the cinnabar insufficient, or had too much time passed? Just as dawn broke, I decided to take Leo to the Daoist master to get clear answers. As I reached the village entrance, Ethan's car came speeding towards me from the opposite direction. He assumed I was trying to take Leo back to the city and blocked my path. His mother, however, had completely changed her arrogant, stubborn demeanor of the past few days, treating me with unusual gentleness, urging Leo and me to stay a few more days. Before I could clarify the reason for Leo's strange behavior, I didn't want any more trouble, so I got back in the car and returned home. Once home, his mother saw me discard the lantern, but said nothing. She picked up Leo, examining him from head to toe, asking if he was well. I casually replied, "He's fine." His mother pressed further, "Why are you feeding him formula?" "Is it because you want to wean him early to return to the city sooner?" I mumbled a vague nod. Weaning was definitely happening. After last night, I didn't even dare to bathe Leo, fearing intimate contact with him. Ethan saw me not breastfeeding Leo, only giving him formula. Scolded me a few times. Then went next door to find young Ben to drink with. I remembered Ethan never drank. This time, back in the village, he might skip meals, but he couldn't go a day without alcohol. This village was truly bizarre, capable of completely changing a person's nature. Night fell, and Ethan still hadn't returned. His mother, worried that Leo wouldn't follow her after Ethan and I left, proactively suggested she take Leo to sleep with her. The baby was too young to be passed around to strangers. I disagreed with his mother's suggestion. In truth, I was worried his mother would notice Leo's unusual behavior. And I also wanted to secretly take Leo to the Taoist temple that night. But his mother insisted on holding Leo. Seeing my refusal, she called Ethan to come home. Ethan, completely drunk, didn't care about right or wrong, simply raised his hand and slapped me, making me dizzy. I'd known Ethan for so many years, and he had never once hit me. What utterly shocked me was that Ethan also hit his own mother, who had just snitched. He struck her even harder. His mother's mouth was bleeding. Terrified, her legs trembling, she didn't even bother to wipe away the blood from the corner of her mouth. She cradled Leo and retreated to her room without a sound, locking the door. I wanted to stop her from keeping Leo overnight, but it was too late. At this point, Ethan, sobered by the alcohol, saw the finger marks on my face and realized the foolish thing he had done. He knelt down, hugging my legs, begging for forgiveness. He swore he would never drink again. He punched himself, saying he didn't know why. Every time he came back to the village, he felt compelled to drink. And when he drank, he felt compelled to hit people. That urge was hard for him to control. To curb his drinking addiction, Ethan locked the bedroom door from the inside and threw the key outside. I was locked in with him. My plan to go to the Taoist temple for help tonight was shattered. In the middle of the night, I heard someone knocking at the door. Nia. I carefully pushed the sleeping Ethan aside and called out through the door. Mother? Is something wrong? Come out for a moment. I have something to ask you. Ethan locked the door, and the key is outside. It's too dark. You won't find it. I was a little worried. Mother, if it's urgent, you can tell me through the window, can't you? It is a bit urgent, his mother started, then hesitated. Finally, she waved her hand through the window. Never mind. I'll tell you tomorrow. At dawn, his mother found the key and unlocked the door. I was in a hazy sleep when she patted me awake. Opening my eyes, I was startled. His mother had wrapped a colorful headscarf around her head, completely covering her face, making her look utterly bizarre. Shh. His mother pointed outside. She had been anxiously waiting for me in the courtyard. It seemed she hadn't slept all night. I had a hunch she had discovered Leo's abnormality. Just as I was considering how to tell her, his mother removed the headscarf from her face. Her face was covered with many red marks. I guessed Leo had done them. I never imagined the situation was this bad. His mother put her headscarf back on, replying evasively, "Tell me honestly, on Leo's full moon night, when did you change the lanterns to red?" "Around the hour of Mao," I replied. His mother frowned and chastised me. If you didn't want to hang white lanterns, you could have just taken them down. Why did you have to change them to red? You've caused a huge disaster. I didn't understand. I wanted to know more from his mother. Why can't a baby's full moon have red lanterns? It violates the village's custom. His mother sighed. Take Leo away. The faster, the better. His mother's sudden change of heart completely surprised me. She had tried every way to keep Leo before, but now she wanted him gone. Was she frightened by Leo's transformation? Mother, have you noticed Leo's change? I probed. His mother pressed her lips tightly together, saying nothing. I continued. Auntie May said, Leo looks like old man Jenkins, who passed away next door. Oh, the sin. His mother covered her face and wept. How could that lecherous demon possess him? I was utterly terrified. Mother, what do we do now? His mother shook her head. Leaving the village is best. Don't bring Leo back to the village much after this. Before I could think further, his mother went inside, found the car keys, gave them to me, then picked up Leo and urged me to leave quickly. What about Ethan? I asked. His mother looked into the house, took a deep breath, as if making a momentous decision. Just leave him. Yesterday, Ethan had hit his mother, but she still couldn't bear to abandon him. No mother and son could hold a grudge overnight. I started the car. As I was backing out, Ethan ran out. You rotten woman! How dare you steal the keys and try to run? I'll beat you to death. Ethan cursed me, violently dragging me out of the driver's seat, punching and kicking me relentlessly. Ethan, stop it! Stop! His mother ran over to intervene, but was forcefully shoved by Ethan, falling to the ground. Ordinarily, Ethan would have looked at his mother with concern, but now he showed no emotion, only focusing on beating me. His eyes were bloodshot, as if stained with blood, and the stench of alcohol emanating from him was nauseating. As he hit me, using too much force, veins bulged on his forehead. How could this violent brute be the Ethan who loved me? In that life or death moment, images flashed through my mind, recalling every day I had spent with Ethan since our full moon celebration. In all these years, Ethan had never returned to the village. Every New Year, his mother would visit him in the city. On Qingming Festival, Ethan wanted to return to the village to sweep his father's grave, but his mother vehemently disagreed. Initially, she said the journey was too far and would affect his work. Later, she claimed it violated village customs. Connecting these clues, a bold idea formed in my mind. Ethan, too, had changed. He was just like Leo. He also had an evil spirit within him. As soon as he returned to the village, that evil spirit would become active, taking him over. Alcoholism, violence, all these vices appeared. According to his mother, leaving the village would cure him. But why had she prevented Ethan from leaving? Could it be that she couldn't bear to let go of the evil spirit within him? At this moment, I had to stop Ethan. Taking advantage of Ethan hitting his mother, I found a piece of wood and struck him on the head. Perhaps I wasn't strong enough. Ethan didn't fall. He touched the back of his neck, felt blood on his hand, and immediately his face turned purple with rage. He grabbed my collar, about to deliver a punch that would surely take half my life. In that moment between life and death, Ethan staggered and fell. It turned out his mother had picked up the piece of wood I had discarded and struck Ethan again. We looked at each other, his mother's face and head covered in blood. I was quite resilient. Aside from the scratch marks on my face from his nails, other injuries weren't serious. His mother, however, was severely injured, gasping in pain. "Mother, is Ethan also possessed by an evil spirit?" I asked, seeking confirmation. His mother thought for a moment, then nodded. "Take Ethan away. As long as he's not in the village, that thing will be very weak. Ethan will still be Ethan. He won't be addicted to alcohol or hit people." Fearing Ethan might still go mad, I tied him up and placed him in the back seat. I then put Leo in a basket, securing him in the passenger seat. His mother thought I was taking Ethan and Leo straight to the city, but I was actually heading to the Taoist temple. I helped Ethan out of the car, then knelt before the Taoist master, holding my son. Both my husband and my son have been invaded by evil spirits. Please, master, help us. The master closed his eyes and waved his hand, signaling, "It's too late. Go." I wept, pleading, "I have no parents. My husband and son are my dearest family." I want our family to be whole again, and I am willing to pay any price. Family is indeed important, the master said, opening his eyes. This problem has a solution, but it is extremely dangerous. Are you willing to try? Yes, yes, I repeatedly kowtowed. The master agreed to perform a ritual to expel the evil spirits from Ethan and Leo. But I must use my own body as bait to attract the evil spirits. The master will use talismans to dispel them the moment they enter my body. There will be certain risks during the ritual, but I am willing to try. As the hour of Mao approached, the master set up his altar and began the ritual. I lay on the altar, my body and soul completely open. First, he started with Leo. The master expelled the evil spirit from Leo's body. I saw a cloud of black mist appear in the air, forming the upper half of a middle-aged man. The man tried to return to Leo's body, but was blocked by the master's talismans. Failing, he hastily tried to invade my body. The moment the evil spirit entered me, my head throbbed as if being hammered, and I felt as though my entire body was being crushed and then reformed. The black mist surged into my body, finally taking human form and beginning to contend for control. He was powerful and strong, at times making me lose the ability to act. Fortunately, the master intervened again, sealing all the pores on my body with talismans and shattering the man. The black mist dispersed, and I regained control of my body. Leo also underwent a clear transformation. His eyes returned to their pure, innocent gaze, and his hands unconsciously clenched. Leo was back. I was so overjoyed I cried, hugging and kissing Leo repeatedly. Next was Ethan. The master, with practiced movements, quickly expelled the evil spirit from Ethan. This was an old man, whose eyes remarkably resembled Ethan's. The old man glanced at Ethan, who was sleeping soundly with his eyes closed, and even touched his face before moving towards me without hesitation. The black mist he formed was much larger than Leo's, and the evil energy was heavier. But with the master here, I wasn't worried. Very quickly, the master eliminated the black mist from Ethan. Just as I thought the ritual was over, something unexpected happened. The master himself turned into a cloud of black mist and entered my body. It happened too suddenly. I could clearly feel the power of that black mist. It resurrected within me, shed the Taoist robes, brushed aside the white hair, and revealed itself to be an old woman from Lai. The old woman cackled. It's been over a decade. Finally, I found the young body willingly offered a sacrifice. Who are you? Why are you taking over my body? I shrieked in panic. Your body? The old woman laughed loud. From now on, it will be mine. As soon as she finished speaking, a large hand formed from black mist violently gripped my neck. From the outside, I still lay peacefully on the altar, but my eyes rolled back and my breathing grew faint. The old woman had completely annihilated my soul, gaining total control over my body. From now on, she was the new owner of this body. Yethan's perspective, this time, returning to the village for our son's full moon party. I was only there for 3 days, but I lost most of my memories. I vaguely recall Nia disliking the white lanterns outside the door and having an unpleasant argument with my mother. Everything after that is a blank. When my memory recovered, our family of 3 was back in the city. Life resumed as usual, but I always felt something was off, an indescribable sensation, yet also an unprecedented lightness and comfort, as if reborn. Our son Leo ate and slept wonderfully, his body healthy, rarely crying, and exceptionally easy to care for. Nia had also changed. She was no longer a workaholic, spending all her time at home with our son, sleeping early, waking early, and focusing on wellness. I was able to support her, and I hoped she would stay home to care for her husband and child. There was only one thing that troubled me. Nia no longer loved me as she used to. Every time I brought it up, she would complain about me getting drunk and hitting her during the full moon celebration in the village. She even showed me the faint scratch marks on her face from my nails. Though the scars had faded to be almost invisible, I blamed myself and felt remorse. From that day on, I never touched a drop of alcohol, using practical actions to atone. One evening, on Leo's first birthday, we were having dinner. Nia's chopsticks fell to the floor. I thought she hadn't held them properly, so I handed her a clean pair. To my surprise, she didn't take the chopsticks, but stood up from her chair, her limbs flailing wildly as if breakdancing. She had completely lost control of her body. "Nia! Nia!" I cried in fear. "What's wrong with you? If you're not feeling well, I'll take you to the hospital." Nia made strange noises, her face filled with pain. Fearing something was seriously wrong with her, I sent Leo to the neighbor's auntie and carried Nia, rushing out. We hadn't even gotten into the car in the basement when Nia screamed, "Put me down! Put me down!" Unsure of her physical condition, I quickly set her down. The moment Nia touched the ground, she didn't even glance at me, but began to touch herself all over. Yes, you didn't misread. She was caressing herself with both hands. "Nia, Nia," I called to her cautiously. After touching herself, Nia first looked stunned. Then she hugged me, jumping up and down with excitement. Nia, finally back. Listen, I'm so happy. Since returning from the village, this was the first time. Ethan. My heart trembled, my eyes welling up. Seeing me speechless, Nia looked up at me. Ethan, are you crying? Is it because you were worried about me? I quickly nodded. Nia breathed a sigh of relief, giggling. I'm perfectly fine, healthier than ever. It's good that you're okay, I said, stroking her head. Let's go home and eat. I made your favorite fish. In the elevator, Nia suddenly said to me, Ethan, let's put the past behind us, okay? I know that wasn't your true intention. I knew what she was talking about. I eagerly clasped her hand. Thank you, Nia. Her eyes sparkled like ignited flames, so radiant. Not long after, a call came from the village. My mother was critically ill, not expected to live much longer. She didn't want Leo or me to come back. Only Nia to visit alone. I couldn't understand the reason for my mother's strange request, so I left the decision to Nia. With a decisive wave of her hand, Nia decided our entire family of 3 would go back to the village to see my mother. That night, we rushed home. The moment my mother saw me, she was overcome with fear, telling me to leave quickly. She even raised her hand to push me away. But her body was too weak. Her arm had no strength. Unable to drive me away, my mother lay on the bed and cried, her sobs piercing my heart. Nia told me to take Leo outside. I don't know what she said to my mother. My mother no longer tried to chase me away. Instead, she called us back inside, hugging Leo and me, crying and laughing at the same time. This reunion, my mother's attitude towards Nia had changed dramatically. The 2 of them even spoke privately, and I vaguely overheard. My mother was incredibly grateful to Nia. She said she was sorry to me, that she shouldn't have taken down the white lanterns on my full moon. She also mentioned my father, saying that when he was alive, he was a drunk and abusive man. And even after death, he took advantage of the situation to harm his son. I had never met my father, nor did I have any feelings for him. Let the past be the past. We must look forward, she said. My mother also mentioned that she hid in the village, not out of cowardice, but to lure out that person of hers. She and that person had battled each other for half a lifetime, and now, finally, she had won. When my mother died, her body was twisted and distorted, but a look of contented satisfaction bloomed on her face. In Nia's perspective, I am Nia, the 32nd generation disciple of the Azure Cloud Temple. My master, Reverend Yunki, was a renowned female Taoist priest. During her travels, Master saved me from human traffickers, took me in as a closed-door disciple, and raised me to adulthood. My aptitude was ordinary. I had no natural talent for cultivation, and my practice was always haphazard. My senior brothers and sisters often scolded me, but Master always said I was very special. I didn't know what unique talents I possessed. I just took it as Master comforting me. At the age of 18, Master was 100 years old and nearing her passing. She called all her disciples before her, giving each personal instructions. When it was my turn, Master said, Nia, I have an important task to entrust to you. I knelt down, weeping. Your disciple will certainly give my all. Master told me, my most favored first disciple, Yuanxiang, has fallen into demonic cultivation, secretly practicing dark arts. She can possess others' bodies to revive herself, achieving immortality. Every newborn baby, at the hour of Mao on their full moon night, must be registered with the King of Hell. Yuanxiang uses her dark arts to peek into the King of Hell's book of life and death. Within the area, she has marked, any wandering soul can possess a child's body. Master spent half her life searching for Yuanxiang's marked territory, which turned out to be Ethan's hometown. That village and its inhabitants were all marked by Yuanxiang, facing the risk of possession, and even after death would be trapped there. To save these innocent villagers, Master warned them that on the full moon night of a newborn, white lanterns must be hung. This is because white lanterns can conceal the aura of the living, delaying the registration with the King of Hell. Once the hour of Mao passes, wandering souls cannot touch the newborn. The highly respected village chief, aware of the truth, decreed that hanging white lanterns for a baby's full moon would be a village custom, and anyone who violated it would be expelled from the village. Without newborns, Yuanxiang could only seek living individuals who willingly offered their bodies, but such opportunities were extremely rare. Decades passed, and Yuanxiang changed bodies many times, making her true form unrecognizable. Master was still unable to capture her, which was her greatest regret. Master divined a hexagram, revealing that only I could cleanse our sect. I was bewildered. I couldn't draw talismans, often forgot incantations, and my divinations were always wrong. How could an ordinary young Taoist priestess like me capture my senior sister, a direct disciple with extraordinary talent and profound cultivation? Master understood my worries and told me not to worry. Everything would unfold by faith. Just as I was about to cultivate with my senior brothers and sisters to enhance my spiritual power, I was ordered to descend the mountain and enroll in a research university. I wanted to continue cultivating at the temple and sought Master's help, but Master had already passed away. From then on, I transformed from an unknown Taoist nun into a vibrant, youthful university student. College life was rich and colorful. I met Ethan, and we were kindred spirits. Like me, Ethan had no relatives. His father died right after he was born, and his mother always stayed in the old house, rarely going out. He had lived in boarding schools since childhood. Compared to him, I had a loving master. Ethan was truly pitiful. I was very curious why his mother didn't seem to care about him. Later, I became pregnant and married Ethan due to the unexpected pregnancy. At the wedding, I met my mother-in-law for the first time. She was gentle, quiet, very timid, and shy. I truly couldn't connect her to that cold, selfish mother-in-law I had encountered later. Later, for Leo's full moon, at his mother's request, and bound by the so-called village custom, Ethan and I took our son back to the village. Then, a series of events unfolded. When Yuanxiang entered my body, I knew she was the person Master wanted to find. Yuanxiang crushed my primordial spirit, completely taking over me. But for some unknown reason, a faint wisp of my residual soul remained within my body. That wisp of residual soul seemed to be able to grow, becoming stronger and stronger, accumulating little by little until it gradually recovered its original form. I fought Yuan Xiang, but I couldn't defeat her and was crushed again. But the residual soul was indestructible. I lived again. I continued to fight Yuan Xiang and continued to be crushed. The process of having my primordial soul crushed was incredibly painful, like truly dying each time. It was Master's trust and the responsibility to eliminate demons and protect righteousness that helped me persevere. As long as a wisp of residual soul was born, I would use my strong will to condense it into light. Fighting against the black mist, Yuan Xiang transformed into, bit by bit, counterattacking my opponent, struggling and resisting, living without perishing, dying without regret. Finally, heaven did not fail me. After countless cycles of dying and coming back to life, Yuan Xiang was defeated by me, her soul annihilated, dissolving into thin air. I had fulfilled Master's dying wish, reclaimed my body, and returned to my family outside of this worldly affair. Master, I have completed the task you entrusted to me. I have shattered Yuan Xiang's spirit. She will no longer harm anyone. Yes, your master is proud of you. With greater ability comes greater responsibility. Your master has a new task for you. Please speak, Master. This time, during the Zhongyuan festival, the blood moon descends, evil spirits surge, and the dark arts Yuan Xiang practiced have reappeared. I fear there are remaining evils. You must immediately investigate the truth and eradicate the malevolent influence. Your disciple accepts the command. After bidding farewell to Master, I woke up. It turned out it was just a dream, and today was indeed the Zhongyuan festival. Master's dream premonition surely means something significant is happening. As her closed-door disciple, I must dedicate all my strength to slaying demons and eradicating evil. I tucked Leo into bed, kissed Ethan, and left a message on his phone. Have to go out. Don't worry. The new mission is very dangerous. But I have my family's support, Master's blessings, and an indestructible residual soul. So, there's nothing to fear. Nia, let's go.